Hi folks, how you all doing? Cross the Six here. Hope you're all having a wonderful day, evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the channel. Yes, you sat there watching this. I'm really pleased that you tuned into my channel and I hope you enjoy my content. And if so, could you just do me the honour of considering hitting that like and subscribe button? It really helps the channel out a lot, and I'm trying to grow the channel and I can only do that with your help. So you don't have to, of course, and if you don't, that's fine too. But anyway, without further ado, let's go on with today's gameplay. We're in the Super Hellcat. And I've got two games for you today, one on Fords and one on Overlord in the Super Hellcat, which is the tier 7 reward tank. Is it a reward tank? Not really. It was basically a tank that was given to you for your years of service playing World of Tanks. And I was fortunate enough to be given this tank. And let's be honest about it, it's one of these tanks that Wargaming give us that, well, I actually quite like it. And as I said before in previous videos, I enjoy playing tank destroyers. And this is one of these tanks that I hadn't played for ages. It kind of sat at the back of the garage and I didn't really go near it, to be quite honest. And it was only recently, in the last, I don't know, probably 7-8 months, I guess, something like that, that I started playing it more and more. And I really enjoy this tank. The cannon is pretty decent on it. It's fairly accurate. It's got nothing for armour. The camouflage rating on it it's okay. It's alright. If you get spotted, 9 times out of 10 you're going to be out of the game anyway. So really the only thing that's going for this tank, honestly, it's just the cannon. That's it in a nutshell. So you've got to try and bear that in mind when you're playing this tank. Don't get into harm's way unless you absolutely have to, and if you do, chances are you're probably going to lose anyway, to be quite honest. On paper it says that this thing does 72 kilometers an hour. Well, I'm not so sure about that. Perhaps going at terminal velocity off the edge of a cliff it might do, but what it does have is the 90mm anti-tank gun, the M3T, and the DPM on this thing is about 1800, so that's about a rate of fire of about 7.5 rounds. 7.5? Can you have a half a round? Not really, can you? So anyway, on paper it says 7.50 rounds per minute, and the penetration values with premium, I only have a fire premium in this thing because that's the only thing that'll ever pen anything, and that's 210 with a damage output of 240. Dispersion's not too bad at 0.35, and you get 30 pieces of ammunition, so it's not too bad. The overall health on this vehicle is 800 hit points. As I say, hull armour is 12, 12 and 12. So 12 to the front, 12 to the side, 12 to the rear. The turret armour is perhaps a little bit better than the hull at 76, 31 and 127 millimeters. 127 millimeters at the back of the back of the turret. That just doesn't make sense, does it? I mean, whoever came up with the design of this vehicle, they must have thought, oh, I know, well, they're never ever going to get hit to the front. Obviously somebody's going to get round the back of them, so we'll make the back of the turret a little bit more stronger than anywhere else on the tank. It doesn't make sense, does it? But anyway, the damage output, as I say, is 240. But I just like this tank. I like its agility. I like the cannon on it. I like the accuracy on it. And as you'll see in this game, it very rarely lets you down. Honestly, it really rarely lets you down. And that's what I like about this tank. It's one of these tanks that you kind of just have a bit of fun in. You can't take it seriously because it doesn't have the armour for that. But it's just one of these tanks that you just kind of play, and you'll have some pretty decent games and you'll pen a few shots, and other games you'll just have crap game after crap game. But that's just World of Tanks overall, isn't it? Because it's not a fixed game or anything like that. It's definitely not a fixed game at all, is it, World of Tanks? There's no Russian bias or anything like that, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Anyway, I'm not one of these people that just believes in all this other mundane pish. I work on the basis that what you see is what you get. WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get. And I generally tend to just call it how it is, and we all know this game has its moments, doesn't it, that makes you think, is this a fixed game? I mean, let's put it this way, and I've said this before in previous videos. If this was a horse race and you were going into a betting office, you certainly wouldn't go into this betting office to make any bets on this particular horse race. Do you know what I mean? But I found out today that my dear friend Booty44 has been banned from the game for a few days. he slipped and fell off a cliff into water and drowned. And he logged in today to find that he'd been banned for unsportsmanlike behaviour. Shame on you for falling off a cliff. What's wrong with you? I find that quite funny because when we played on the console, I was forever getting banned. I was forever getting banned for just, I don't know, just ridiculous stuff. I don't know, but this is a thing, isn't it? You know, you get these whiners in the game that just whine and complain and moan and whinge, and it drives you insane if you allow it to. But for me personally, I just think, get a life. It's just a video game. It's just a bloody game. Oh, you want to be careful here, mate. You're going to get banned. You just drown yourself. Anyway, we're number one. You're number one. We did okay in this game. Not too bad. But anyway, on with the next game on Overlord. And this turned out to be a pretty decent game for me. Not too shabby. But there's a little surprise at the end of this. So you'll have to stay tuned to find out what it is. But this is the thing, isn't it? You know, how can they ban you for, you know, whether it's accidental or on purpose? It doesn't really matter, does it? We're all supposed to be autonomous and make our own decisions within the battle. And all it takes is just for a number of people just to whine and moan and say, oh, it's not fair, you drown yourself, you denied me of 800 hit points. Oh, fuck off. Do you know what I mean? It's just a video game. For God's sake, get a life. Fucking hell. You know, this is what amazes me with some people. I had it today. I was playing a game, and I had a fairly decent game. I think I came third from the top. 2,500 damage, something like that. Anyway, this particular chap emailed me or texted me in the game and said, you're shit, and all this kind of crap. And I'd already been playing a different game when this message came through, so obviously he was in thought when he was coming up with this little pearl of wisdom. So anyway, I read his message and I thought, alright, whatever, mate, you know, okay, whatever. But when I actually went into the actual game that he was complaining about, that he happened to be part of course, he came bottom. And he fired 5 shots and had 1 pen and did something like 75 damage, something crazy. And I thought, hang on a minute, what are you whinging at me for? I'm like 3rd, 4th from the top. What's wrong with you? You're right at the very bottom. Get a life. It's just a video game. Pixels on a screen. That's all it is pixels on a screen. But people just get so het up about it, don't they? And I don't quite understand why. Perhaps I'm just old school. I just think it doesn't really matter, to be quite honest. In the grand scheme of things, it's not that important. But people do, they just get so anti, don't they? And they get so worked up. The old general patterns. And you just think, well, mate, you need to chill out, just relax. Go and play another game. It doesn't matter. This game will still be here, you know, and just go and let the steam out your ears and let your head go from a cone shape to a normal roundish egg shape. You'll be fine, mate. It's all good. It's all fine. But they don't do that. They just get so anti and just so toxic and venomous. You think, you don't know me from Adam, and yet here you are sending a pathetic message to somebody you don't know. And this is my thing. I'd love to meet these people in real life. I really would. And it's probably some snotty-nosed kid that's sat in his room, you know, that's getting his, I don't know, getting his thrills, his kicks, because he can shoot things, you know. And all I can say is just get a life. It's pixels on a screen, a video game. It doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. So wind your neck in, sort yourself out, and stop acting like a bloody baby. Fuck's sake, what's wrong with you? But we've all had them moments, haven't we? We've all had them moments where, you know, shot after shot after shot just doesn't land, you don't do any damage, and you come bottom of the pile and all that usual crap. And you just got to suck it up and say, well, okay, it's just a crappy game. And, you know, in all fairness, I've lost it a few times where I've shouted and I've swore, and there's been a fair few expletives that have come out of my mouth in regards to this game. But at the end of the day, it's just pixels on a screen, isn't it? There's no need to have a personal attack on somebody. And again, it's like when I used to play on the console a while back, I might add, since we sort of conversed over to full-time on the PC. Well, Booty 44 can't at the moment. Not for the next 3 days. We actually went back on the console tonight to play Welded Tanks because he's banned from the PC variant. So kudos to you, Dennis. Well done, son. Well done. Now you have become a man. A proper tanker. Now you've been banned for 3 days. But it's just ridiculous. I remember on the console I was playing in artillery. Yes, the dreaded artillery, that thing that I absolutely loathe and just makes my skin crawl. Well, not quite, but I'm just kind of giving it impact, you know what I mean? And I never ever participated, ever, in the chat within game. I never ever did. I never spoke to anybody. I never gave my opinion or any crap like that. And anyway, I was playing the artillery and I was doing quite well for myself and thought, yeah, this was a good game, not too shabby. Anyway, the next day, woke up, got up, logged into Welded Tanks to find I was banned for 2 weeks for harassment. And I thought, what? Who have I spoken to? What have I said to anybody? And I hadn't. And this is the issue, you see. This is one of the things that really annoys me. Is the fact is that certainly on the console side of things, people can make complaints about you, spurious complaints, which can result in you being banned from the game. Yet nothing happens to them. Ridiculous, isn't it? But anyway, there you go. Anyway, on to the end plates. We did okay, not too bad, but we got our second mark of excellence. Catch you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.